Hey friends, okay, so many of you asked for the exact recipe and how I make my coffee creamer is what I call it. Although my kids do use it for cereal, I do sometimes use it for baking. So I make this probably once a week in the mornings usually when I wake up. Before the kids are awake, I just come down, it's done in 2 minutes, then it's hot and frothy and really, really nice for my coffee. So that's kind of my preferred way to do it. But you can do it at any time, of course. So to get started, I have organic raw almonds and I soak these for 24 hours. I actually have some that are pre-soaked right here from my freezer, so that's what I'm gonna use today, but I just wanna show you really quickly how I do that. A little pinch of salt, filtered water is important, and then just cover them with enough water so that they're fully immersed. And then I just put some beeswax over the top and let them sit in a corner. A paper towel's fine too. It doesn't need to be sealed. I just don't like anything to fall in there. And let them sit on your counter for about 24 hours. When they are done soaking, they're gonna be almost twice the size. They'll absorb some of that water. And then you'll just wanna drain them, rinse them. And then what I usually do is I use about 1/3 cup in my morning creamer. That's about what's left here. And then anything that's left, I put in one of these resealable stasher bags and put it in the freezer. And that way I don't have to constantly soak almonds. So I can soak kind of one bigger amount and then put them in the freezer and just take out what I need. It has worked out really well for me, mostly because I always forget to soak the almonds. So that's why I like to do it. I'm like, let's just do it while I'm thinking about it. I just do a bunch at once. Okay, so then I do another 1/3 cup of the cashew pieces. I have found that the organic cashews and organic coconut shreds are the best prices from just directly from Almond Cow. They do not have organic almonds, so I've been buying those either from Thrive Market. You can sometimes find them at Costco, and so that's usually what I use. Okay, and then the last thing, and I like to put it on the top, is the coconut, the shredded coconut, and about 1/3 cup of that. So there's a 1 cup measure inside of here. You don't really want to go past that because that's when things can kind of overflow and make your milk gritty. I do usually go slightly past because as soon as those cashews start to blend, it compacts pretty well. So I go a teeny bit more than that, but not much. And my dates always stand a bit above the 1 cup line as well. And actually, I'm gonna go just a teeny bit more of my cashews since I didn't really measure this. Okay, this time around. So I have water boiling, filtered water again. And I like to use hot water because I feel like it makes it a lot creamier. Hot water is going to just break down those nuts even more. And since I'm not soaking my cashews, but I did soak my almonds, I just feel like it blends it a lot better. So I do it to the minimum line. In there, you won't be able to see it from the camera angle, but there is a minimum and a maximum line. I usually go just above the minimum line. A little pinch of salt. This actually helps to preserve the milk in your fridge longer. I only do not even 1/8 of a teaspoon, just a teeny dash. And then I like the flavor of Deglet Nor dates. Medjool's fine too, but Deglet are a lot smaller, so I do 4 to 5. If I'm gonna be using this milk for something else, I know that I'm using it in a recipe that's more savory. I don't do the dates, but because this is my kind of morning coffee, I like having it just ever so slightly sweet. And it is very slightly sweet. It is not very sweet at all. I'm actually gonna do just a teeny bit more salt. I feel like that pinch was, there we go. Okay. You don't taste the salt, by the way. So then after we've got all of our stuff into our cup there, the blending cup, you have to work, it takes a little bit of getting used to. You just kind of have to work the blade in. Once you get it sort of in there, I kind of tilt it slightly on its side. Don't go too far on its side or everything will fall out until you see that it's basically closed. And then to close it, you just turn it towards you. Or to the, or to the left. It says it right here, open and close, okay? All right, and then what I do next is I just set it into the hot water and I leave it there for about 10 minutes, usually while I'm like making kids lunches, getting my coffee made, and then I come back and blend it. I like to just let it soak for a few minutes. I think it helps break down the cashews a little bit more. So I just leave that for a sec. So I'm gonna leave it and I'm gonna come back and show you how to blend it, and then we'll show you the finished product in about 10 minutes. Okay, one quick note before I blend this, just because I get a lot of questions about storage. I keep the coconut shreds just in the pantry along with my dates. Off topic, kind of. I also like to let it soak for a bit in the hot water because that'll soften the dates and it'll help them blend a little bit better. Okay, back to storage. So I keep my cashews and my almonds in the refrigerator. I just keep them in one of my crisper drawers just because it's where I have space, but they'll last a lot longer in there. Nuts can go rancid pretty quickly. So once they're open, I keep them in the refrigerator. I go through this big bag. This is a 3-pound bag. I go through this in about a month. If you're making it more frequently than me, then I would store some. Actually, sorry, if you're making it less frequently than me, I would store some in the freezer and then you can just pull them out, but that'll just help them last a lot longer. So I'm gonna get my little helper because she loves to push this almond button. Be right back. Okay, somebody just woke up from her nap and this is her favorite thing in the morning. She always says, can I push the button? There we go. So, here, you want to play? Okay, so one cycle will be 3 mini cycles. It'll go, it'll stop for a second, it'll go again, it'll stop for a second, it'll go again. Then after that first cycle is done, I let it sit for just a second. Usually it's just because I'm out of the room. And then I push it again. So I run it through 2 cycles. So that is it. The light will be a solid green color when it's done. If it's still blinking, it means it's still in the middle of that cycle. So I just like to kind of let any goodness drip out, although it will collect in that collector cup. Okay, so then I love these bottles. The one that comes with Almond Cow is great too, but I love the way that these pour for my coffee in the morning. I just feel like they don't drip as much, and I can fit these in my fridge a lot better than those bigger ones. And so I do have to use a funnel just because it's a pretty small top. And I want to show you that cream on the top. I'll pour some into a mug. Okay, so this will last for about a week. 7 to 10 days is kind of the max. You'll know when you smell it. It'll have a little bit of a soury, kind of rancid taste to it. Okay, look at this. I don't want to spill it, but you can see, maybe you can't see this awesome foam. I mean, it's like, it's so good for coffee in the morning. So that's my kind of special little recipe that I make all the time. I've done lots of other things in here. I have not yet played with the oat milk, just because I don't really tolerate oats. But I've done pecans, I've done hazelnuts. I make my kids hot cocoa in it a lot, like I mentioned during our February live. With that, I usually just do pretty much the same thing, but I add a couple of tablespoons of cocoa powder and usually a tablespoon or 2 of maple syrup to make it a bit sweeter. But that's super easy. You can just run the machine and pour hot cocoa straight out of here when you use the hot water. I literally have not bought almond milk or cashew milk since I got this, which was probably 6 months ago or so. And it's just so easy to make, and I save, I did the calculations. You guys can go over and see it on the blog post. But the machine itself is already paid for. And then the cost of the ingredients and my time is still cheaper than buying it store-bought. Plus I get to avoid all of the gums, the fillers, carrageenan, sugar, anything like that. I get to control exactly what I put in it. So it's my favorite. Plus, this particular recipe I have found does not coagulate, congeal in my coffee. So it doesn't separate. It actually stays nice and smooth and creamy even after I've stirred it in, which is huge for me. I know it still tastes the same normally, but I don't like when it's all congealed in my coffee. So this has been my kind of like favorite thing. All right, guys, enjoy.